Good afternoon, everybody. It is 12:58 p.m. on this Wednesday, the 10th of October. Quite a bit of stuff happening in the markets lately today. Not in pretty much every market. We've had some pretty significant moves and some pretty significant. Turn that off there. Pretty significant moves in equity markets. I mean, they have continued to really get hammered. If you look at the ES, we're down, in the futures market over 1.5%. The NASDAQ has been down over 2% pretty much all day. The Dow has been flirting with being down. The actual Dow itself, I think, has been down as far as 440-ish points. It's really fun listening to the pundits on the news. Always looking for reasons and excuses for these things. It's just weird. I mean, news is news. It's reactionary, and traders react to news. And it's weird that people look for a cause of something. You always look for a reason why something happened after it happened, instead of, as technical analysts, we follow patterns and probabilities and cycles. And as my wife will tell you, that she's a doctor of psychology, she will tell you that past behavior is the only way to predict future behavior. And the stock market charts in general are a perfect example and test subject of that of that theory. Okay, so looking at what we've got going on, what have we seen have happen here? We've had a pretty nice drive up yesterday. As we look here on the 8th, we were trading up. Then all day yesterday, we had just a little bit of a pullback going on. We traded down against this trend line, actually moved down below it this morning. And then since we've recovered and traded above it. Bitcoin's very much in the same kind of a pattern, but showing a little bit more of a bullish recovery here. The move. Oh, excuse me. I gotta drink some water. All right. The move here has been pretty strong. Last night there was a pretty steep drop right around midnight in a lot of the exchanges. So Bitstamp had noticeably the biggest drop there, but if we look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin's chart on Coinbase, not as dramatic of a dip, but Bitstamp's definitely went all the way down to the 6,300 area before rallying higher. One of the signs that pushed down was probably not a very honest move lower, was due to the alt market was not experiencing a dramatic sell-off. Instead, we had quite a bit of resilience in a lot of the altcoins. So that was kind of our first little heads up. And additionally, let's just look at the trading ranges. I mean, we've been trading in a range for quite some time. Now we're at 1 o'clock, and it'll be interesting to see what the response here is after a recovery since over the last 12 hours, because that's what we have had. We've had a 12-hour recovery. If this turns into just a bearish flag where we move down and test lower, that's going to be a thing to look out for. Now, taking a look at basic attention token, it's trading pretty well. Trading up, really actually, let me pull up the Telegram, excuse me. So we had a couple trade ideas going into the end of our trade day yesterday, and then something happened with my internet. Like, I was already way over my time, but something happened with my internet. So if you didn't get an answer to the question you wanted, please ask again here, and I'll get it to you. Looking at Cardano on the hourly, this bullish flag pattern that's been going on over the last couple of days is still there and active. We had a trade idea on here with the Ichimoku system, looking for a break above the 1320 level. That would bring us above the cloud in price and the lagging span above price, and it would break us out of this bull flag. So that would be the confirmation entry there. Basic attention token for a trade idea yesterday, we wanted to go long at 27.48. That is right where we're sitting right now. That was based on the 1 hour Ichimoku, where we would break above this prior most recent high here. And no, that's not right. These highs here. And so far, so good. Basic attention token has been trading, like on a long-term time frame, we've been trading really flat in this Bitcoin pair. And it's one of the Coinbase 5. It's in a prime area to look at for me to look at for a long entry. XLM, pretty flat distributed range here. It's not a lot has been happening on this move. If we look at, we wanted to go long at 25.05. We're just slightly below that. We're still in this range, though. I mean, nothing's really changed. ZRX has been doing phenomenal. It's shown a lot of oomph, and it may be beginning another drive up here. ZRX. So ZRX, the long at the 11.444. That is working out nice. I mean, we're continuing to test this and poke above this 4/8 middle harmonic. And the thing is once we trade above that, once we start to see a couple, 1 or 2 daily candlesticks close above that 4/8 major harmonic, then we've got a pretty big deal happening, because that is the hardest area until, if I zoom all the way out here, until the level of 2190 all the way up here is traded, and until 1156 is traded, the strongest area of support or resistance is 1153, right where we're trading up against. And so when prices are going to trade in this area, they're going to find a lot of difficulty maintaining prices above or below it. It's going to be very hard to get above or below it. But we've been testing it on pretty good volume, really high volume actually.